UFC used to be a no-rules bloodbath where anything went and fighters unleashed their primal instincts. Over the years, however, the sport has evolved into a more regulated and disciplined environment. But even with all the rules, some fighters just couldn't keep it together, leading to permanent bans from the UFC. Let's start with Paul Semtex Daly, a fighter known for his explosive power and striking ability. After losing a heated match to Josh Koscheck, Daly's frustration boiled over, leading him to throw a sucker punch at Koscheck after the final bell. This wasn't just a lapse in judgment. It was a blatant disregard for sportsmanship and the integrity of the sport. Dana White, the president of the UFC, didn't hesitate for a second. He banned Daly for life. The UFC's official stance was clear. Don't hit people when it's not your turn. It's a simple enough rule, but some fighters just don't get it. Next up is Rousimar Palhares, known as the leg lock nightmare. Palhares was a submission wizard with a knack for executing intricate leg locks. However, he developed a troubling habit of holding on to submissions long after his opponents tapped out. This reckless behavior led to serious injuries for several fighters, prompting the UFC to intervene. After multiple suspensions and a pattern of dangerous conduct, Palhares was banned for good. The lesson here is straightforward. If you want to be remembered for your skills, don't be the guy who breaks bones on purpose. Then there's War Machine. Yes, that's his real name. He wasn't banned for fighting dirty or failing drug tests. His UFC career ended due to his violent criminal behavior outside the cage. Convicted of assault and sentenced to life in prison, the UFC didn't have to ban him. The law took care of that for them. This serves as a sobering reminder that your actions off the mat can lead to dire consequences, sometimes with life-altering implications. Moving on to Jon Jones, a name that many consider synonymous with greatness in UFC history. Jones has had his fair share of controversies, managing to avoid a full ban despite multiple infractions, including failed drug tests, a hit-and-run incident, and even a positive cocaine test. The UFC kept allowing him back because, well, he's Jon Jones. His exceptional talent seems to have granted him a level of immunity when it comes to consequences. The moral here? If you're at the top of your game, the rules might bend just a little for you. For everyone else, however, the consequences are much more severe. Thiago Silva was another powerhouse whose career was marred by issues, allegedly showing up to a jiu-jitsu gym with a gun raised serious concerns, leading to a quick ban from the UFC. Although he was briefly re-signed, the resurfacing of this incident led to his second cut. This clearly indicates that Dana White has a line somewhere, and Silva crossed it not just once, but twice. Next on the list is Jason Mayhem Miller, known for his wild personality and unpredictability. He was a walking headline machine, but his chaotic off-cage behavior, filled with arrests and bizarre antics, became too much for the UFC. Eventually, they had to draw a line, leading to his ban from the promotion. It's a reminder that even the most entertaining fighters have their limits. Nate Marquardt, a respected fighter and veteran, found himself at the center of controversy regarding testosterone replacement therapy, TRT. He failed a medical clearance before a fight, which prompted the UFC to cut him loose. This decision sent a clear message: no shortcuts, no exceptions. Although he was later reinstated, that moment marked the beginning of the end for Nate's UFC career, illustrating how important it is to abide by the rules in this sport. Let's talk about Renan Ferreira, who made headlines for refusing to fight mid-bout. Such behavior is a hard no for the UFC, and it resulted in his immediate ban. Fighters are expected to compete when the bell rings, and any refusal can lead to severe consequences, as Ferreira learned the hard way. Mark Kerr, once a dominant force in the heavyweight division, faced his own struggles with addiction, which ultimately sidelined his career. His story highlights the challenges that fighters can face off the mat and how personal issues can lead to bans. The UFC is a demanding sport, both physically and mentally, and not every fighter can cope with the pressures. Next, we have Mike Perry, known for his wild antics both in and out of the octagon. His controversial behavior became too much for the UFC, leading to his release. It's an example of how a fighter's off-cage life can drastically impact their career. Perry garnered plenty of attention for his antics, but the UFC ultimately prioritizes professionalism and discipline. BJ Penn, while not officially banned, was cut for his own safety after a series of poor performances. The UFC had to look out for both the fighter's well-being and the integrity of the sport. Penn's decline was tough to watch for fans, and it showcased how even legends can face difficult endings to their careers. Diego Sanchez, a fan favorite known for his heart and grit, also found himself in hot water. His increasingly bizarre behavior and conflicting opinions with the UFC led to his departure from the promotion. Sanchez had a storied career, but his struggles off the mat overshadowed his achievements. It's a reminder that fighting in the UFC isn't just about skill, it's also about maintaining a certain level of professionalism. Now, let's touch on Anderson Silva, one of the greatest fighters in MMA history. Silva faced a temporary ban after testing positive for banned substances following his fight with Nick Diaz. This incident was shocking for fans, as Silva had long been a role model in the sport. Although it wasn't a permanent ban, it highlighted the importance of adhering to regulations, even for the most accomplished fighters. Chael Sonnen is another name that comes to mind. Known for his brash personality and trash talking, Sonnen was banned after multiple failed drug tests, including one prior to his fight with John Jones. His case serves as a reminder that no one is above the rules, regardless of how entertaining they may be. Sonnen's charisma and ability to promote fights were undeniable, but they couldn't shield him from the consequences of his actions. Let's also talk about James Toney, a boxing champion who made a brief and controversial foray into MMA. His time in the UFC was short-lived, and he faced criticism for his performance and lack of commitment to the sport. While he wasn't banned per se, his failure to adapt to the demands of MMA and his lack of discipline led to an early exit. Toney's story illustrates that transitioning between combat sports is not as easy as it may seem. Next, we have Chris Leben, a fighter known for his toughness and willingness to engage in brawls. Leben faced multiple suspensions and bans throughout his career, primarily due to issues with substance abuse. Despite his talent, his off-cage struggles impacted his fighting career significantly, leading to his release from the UFC. His story is a reminder that even the toughest fighters can face personal demons that can derail their careers. Next, we have Gilbert Evil, a fighter known for his striking and raw talent. Evil faced multiple suspensions during his career, primarily due to issues with unsportsmanlike conduct, including incidents where he displayed aggression towards referees. These actions prompted the UFC to take a stand, resulting in a ban that highlighted the importance of respecting officials and maintaining decorum in the sport. Then we have Hermes Franca, a talented fighter who faced a ban after testing positive for a banned substance. Franca had a successful career in the UFC, but his legacy was tarnished when he failed a drug test following a fight. This incident serves as a stark reminder that even skilled fighters must adhere to strict guidelines regarding performance-enhancing substances. Finally, we come to Brock Lesnar, a name that resonates with both MMA and wrestling fans. While Lesnar is not banned, his career has been marked by controversy, especially regarding his health issues and brief retirement. After returning to the UFC and facing Mark Hunt, Lesnar tested positive for a banned substance, leading to a suspension and the overturning of his victory. His case highlights the pressure fighters face in maintaining their health and performance levels, as well as the importance of compliance with regulations. Fighting in the UFC isn't just about showcasing skills and landing knockouts. It's also about staying on the right side of the law, adhering to the rules, and exercising common sense. If you can't manage that, well, there are always bare-knuckle FC or jail waiting for you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more UFC chaos, breakdowns, and the occasional fighter meltdown, and drop a comment with the fighter you think should have been banned.